Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Tony Stark Iron Man issue 17. And this was a pretty decent issue. I liked some of the things that they kind of got us towards, kind of setting up stories that are going to be coming and kind of getting us to a kind of stage that we're like, okay, this is going to be interesting to see how Tony and everybody kind of gets out of this. So the issue starts off, and we kind of see how Ultron Pym has been gathering his test subjects, pretty much having like an ultimate makeover spa. And I'm like, damn it, that is actually pretty fucking ingenious. Like, they're like, oh, okay, don't worry, we'll fix your problem areas and stuff like that, and then turning the people into cyborgs. So we see that Rhodey has gone completely and utterly crazy over this, and is pretty much just taking everybody out with like extreme prejudice. He's like, there's no way coming back from this and all that. Of course, we see that that's not exactly the case in this issue, even. As Cave has to pretty much shock out Jarvis again and take him off of the field, so Rhodey's pretty much left to do what he thinks he needs to do and start pretty much taking out as many of the cyborg people as possible. While this is happening, Tony and Ultron Pym bust out of the ground and they're trying to fight and everything. Janet kind of gives Rhodey the lowdown that he was pretty much caught in the blast that was supposed to fuse Janet and Yokasta together. And they're like, well, we kind of need some help up here. And then we cut down and we see that Yokasta's underneath with Machine Man. She's like, I love how she's commenting on the fact, like, yeah, it's pretty kind of convenient that I got human flesh pretty much just to understand how painful it is. I'm like, damn, yeah. And of course, Machine Man's already pretty much in repair mode, but Yokasta is missing some limbs, so he gives her some of his limbs so that way she can go and help Tony and everybody take down Ultron. So, yeah, alright, pretty sweet. And we see that she flies up there and pretty much lays into Ultron Pym, and this kind of sets him off that, shit, as of course Yokasta sees what's happened to Tony and is like, shit, this kind of sucks. And Ultron Pym's like, hey, screw this, and pretty much starts going even more hambo on everything than he was, pretty much blasting everybody out of Avengers Mansion. And we see that Tony is really kind of messed up, not just because of the, well, Janet's pretty much saying, hey, we don't know if it's because of the fusion or if Ultron's attacks, a little bit of both, because he's not doing well whatsoever. And while this is going on, we see that he gets in contact with Andy, trying to figure out what's going on, as this is spilling out into the streets, and all the cyborgs are kind of everywhere. People are freaking out about what is going on to Tony and thinking that it's kind of contagious. And he's like, Andy, what's going on? He's like, well, we don't even know where to begin. If this was just biologic, someone would be able to do it, or if it was just technologic. But since it's fused together, you kind of need a super scientist, and that's of course where Dr. Shapiro the cat comes into play. Has it on superhuman studies, pretty much, and he's like, all right, give me all the records you got, and 2% no. I'm like, there you go. So they're pretty much coming with their plan and trying to figure out what's going on with this. We've also checked in with Arno and Bane, Sunset, and she is not happy with what's going on. Sunset Bane, she's got this scar and everything, and she's whining about it. But Arno's like, listen, you don't know what I've got here. I figured out how to pretty much create, because of what I was able to do with Yokasta, because she's like, oh, you brought Yokasta here and that brought Ultron Pym and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yes, but because of the information that he's gathered, he is able to pretty much be able to recreate human bodies and upload electronically stored engrams, pretty much effectively making immortality. And it's interesting that he was able to do this. It's kind of similar to what we've been, well, not similar. It's along the same lines as what we've been hearing, what's been going on in the X-Men comic books. So I'm wondering if those will come into play or whatnot, or if this is like a bigger scheme of Arno's and his kind of take on being a futurist and everything, because he wants to bring back his parents, because this actually helped him with a congenital disease and everything. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to bring my parents back. And she's like, can it fix my scar? It's like, you essentially have to regrow your body, Bane. and have your mind digitally created an engram and then uploaded into that for a scar. Arno could probably fucking fix it. He's trying to give you the big picture, and you're just like, oh, god damn it, he just used the shit out of you. So that's pretty cool. We get back into kind of the play, and we see that Tony still isn't doing well. Ultron's still pretty much wrecking him. He's like, oh, what? You pretty much just stalling until the Avengers get here, right? And see that Ultron pretty much faked being Steve Rogers, so that way Tony thought help was coming, and then sent another distress signal, and you see Captain Marvel, and Blade at like Alpha Centauri, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't call for you guys." It's like, "Oh crap, that's not good." So by around this time, we see that the Dr. Shapiro has been able to figure out how to help Jarvis and Vision, Wonder Man, and all that, and so we have that Rhodey and Janet are pretty much running interference on Ultron Pym, while Yocasta is trying to take Tony to Stark Unlimited to kind of get him fixed up and everything. And we see that Rhodey's like, yeah, I just got to stall time until the Avenger that I called gets here. And I'm like, he probably called in the War Machine suit. It's like, yeah, okay. And we see a little bit of talking of like Yocasta and Tony's trying to relate to her, and she's just like not having any of it. And especially with what we've learned from Arno, he even said that like similar processes were used with Rhodey and Tony for their kind of body rebuilds. That she's like, no, you don't understand. But he's kind of that bridge moment, if it's going along the lines that Arno had brought up, that they pretty much had their minds electronically encoded in an engram and then uploaded into a new body, or at least until their body was kind of repaired and kind of like merged together. It's kind of crazy. We'll have to see how that kind of pans out and what's going to happen with Tony, since we already know that Iron Man 2020 is going to be a big kind of thing. So we see that Rhodey has pretty much been able to hold off Ultron Pym. Ultron Pym's burns about like the Manticore were pretty funny, being like, this thing's like 6 months old, you might as well be attacking me with an iPhone X. And it's like, damn! And then, of course, the War Machine armor pops up, and I really like it. Nice design, and granted, it's not got the gray and black kind of color scheme. It's more kind of just grayish overall. But I'm really excited to kind of see it in action and see how Rhodey deals with this, because he doesn't want to be put into those kind of like what claustrophobic can kind of suits again. But he did this to help Tony, and that just goes to show their bond and everything. It's like, yeah. So that's going to be an interesting kind of fight into effect, and I think since they were able to figure out how to split people from their kind of technological facets, since they've been fused, they're probably going to have to use that on Ultron Pym in order to win this battle. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.